supposedly he's been working for the company longer than anyone, including the director. Like, he's been around just forever. No one knows where he's from, and he doesn't talk about it much. He's just a mysterious Finnish person.
Yeah. We're live now. Hello, audience.
Hello, audience. I was just talking about Ahti from Control.
And I was talking about Fables from
Remedies,
Fables.
Control. And Fables from, I don't know what publishers.
Vertigo?
Vertigo.
Owned
Fables.
by DC?
Some kind of Vertigo's Fables.
Yeah.
Some
the Sandman people, the high cost of living people, the...
Do you think...
whatever else people... I think John Constantine is actually a Vertigo character.
I'm just imagining if comic characters had the same naming conventions as when people refer to video game characters, where they're like, ah yes, it's Sans Undertale. So it's like, ah yes, Batman Batman DC. We're talking about Fables Vertigo.
Yeah. Fable's such a good story. I'm reading Wolf Among Us comic now, and it actually adds some like extra story to it. Like, there's this whole extra origin story about how Bigby first came to like live in the new world, and he had to like learn how to be a person from Crane, who's a sleazebag. And it's like a whole origin story with witches and shit.
Ain't that the human condition? You know, you're born, you go into the world, and you gotta learn how to be a person.
Yeah. Well, he was born a wolf and existed as a wolf, so there was a bit of a learning curve.
I gotta say, at least he got a name like that, like translated well, like Bigby, and like imagine if he got a name like like Romulus Not a Wolf or Remus Lupin.
Well, it's funny because
let me linger on that for a moment. I love that the guy who was secretly a werewolf in the first I think they discovered a secret in like the third book of something or so of Harry Potter, but his name was Remus Lupin. Like, first name the Roman guy who was raised by wolves, and Lupin, like the family name for dogs and wolves.
Huh.
So it's like, that's brilliant. That's like if his name was like Romulus Not a Wolf.
Romulus Not a Wolf.
Romulus Wolfman.
But dude, it's funny because like within the Fables like comic, people who don't have just like normal sounding names are constantly going through just different identities throughout their lifespans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like no one ever has like a permanently attached human name to them. It's always
Cristal! Oh yeah, that was me.
It's always just like Prince Charming. He's like, oh, I have to check my wallet to tell you my name. I don't remember what it is right now.
Hold on, I gotta do the math here on my age. He doesn't just go by Mr. Charming?
Is Charming a name?
I mean, I would totally go by Mr. Charming if my last name was Charming.
I mean, among the Fable community, I imagine you could, but like
that would be my whole thing.
Fables get like really stingy about like
using their literal names in public.
It's like
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like they're very stingy about like not letting any Fable stuff leak into the outside world.
Right.
Like Sleeping Beauty, for instance, was like in a band called Dirty Birds, and she always wrote shitty lyrics because like one of her blessings is that she's like really good at making songs and stuff, because she got all those blessings from the fairy godmothers and everything.
Wait, who?
Sleeping Beauty.
Ah.
And like one of them was the ability to just like make awesome songs all the time.
Oh no.
So she had to like purposely make bad songs in order to like not draw too much attention. But then like the one time
why didn't she just get someone else to write the songs?
No, because she's a songwriter.
Because I would struggle too much with that, where it's like if I had a gift of writing good songs but I had to not write good songs, I don't know if I could handle that. I'm only using 1% of my power.
Well, I wasn't quite done with what I was saying.
Right.
The plot goes deeper because like because it like has a whole comic dedicated to her time on the Dirty Birds and how they're like constantly complaining that they're not like really thriving as much as they could be because of Sleeping Beauty's resistance in writing anything that's actually good. because it would draw too much attention, which could attract, attention to Fabletown, which is a big no-no. So, like, she actually did make a song. She fully aware of the consequences, knowing she would have to, like, leave the band. She was like, these people are awesome, and I need
Why
to give them,
can't
like,
I tell you
one
anywhere else?
good thing. I need to give them, like, one good thing while we're working as a band. So she like made an awesome song, and then
I mean, that wouldn't be too much of an anomaly either, because like there's plenty of bands that have like one song that everyone knows them.
It doesn't matter how much of an anomaly is. Fabletown is super strict. There was a
No,
whole
as
other
in,
thing where
what
like,
I'm saying is that it would as long as the lyrics weren't like super Fable related, that it would totally slip under the radar as like, this band, they had a bunch of really sucky songs, and they had one that like everyone remembers.
Matter. They're strict.
Okay, so the rule is that you just shouldn't acquire any level of fame.
You can't allow your Fable nature to leak into the mundane reality.
Okay.
And making good music is part of like Sleeping Beauty's nature as a Fable. There was a whole nother thing where
let her try out for sports. Let her compete. You know why we can't let her.
It's not about you. But yeah, there's a whole nother thing.
It's psychotic.
There's a whole other thing with like Jack Horner, where he like left Fabletown and went and became like a big Hollywood director, but like he didn't do interviews, he didn't interact with people like at all. He worked like behind the scenes.
Changed his name to Alan Smithy.
No, his name was John Trick.
John Trick.
Yeah. But like even though he had taken such great strengths to like not let anyone know who he is, he still went and made like 3 movies about him, which Beast showed up. He was sheriff at the time. He became sheriff at some point.
Right.
And he was like, "Yo, you went and you made something that draws the eye of the public, which, can always lead back to our town, so you're fired. Here's the amount of cash you're allowed to have. Your business is now owned by your underling or whatever.
I've been hired to do this.
Just get the fuck out of here, okay?"
You've been hired to rip paper? No, that was your directing license. You're no longer directors.
You're no longer directors.
Woo!
World directors. But yeah,
check that off your bingo card. World Doctors.
But yeah, which kind of led to the whole Jack of Fable spin-off comic, which was
so like after his directing career, he went and did other.
He went into a spin-off series, yeah.
Did he go back to directing, but like in a different Fable way? Or?
No, because if he did, he would have just tracked him down again, and then he probably would have been like incarcerated.
I'm just kind of going with whatever my first guess was.
Yeah. Fabletown is really strict. Although, of course, by the end of the comics, people become aware of their existence, and then the mundane becomes just another Fable world. It's really neat because, like, when people become aware of their existence, it starts like actually infecting the mundane world. So people of that world who like are born into it also become fables, so now it's just like another world of magic, which is really cool.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Here's my... Okay, so if you had a curse, what was it? Sleeping Beauty style curse, where at her 16th birthday, she'll prick her finger on a spinning wheel or whatever. What would the modern equivalent of that be? Like, she'll drop a smartphone on her face while lying in bed and fall into a sleep. You know, where it's like we've banned smartphones from their entire life. Which is funny, because all you have to do is like be careful on like that specific year.
Just get yourself one of those like pop-outs or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but like more specifically, like you don't have to ban all spinning wheels. You just have to keep her away from spinning wheels for the year that she's 16, and that's it. Like that specific year. Before that, spinning wheels all day, every day.
Oh no, it doesn't go back. Like that's a current thing in the comic books as well, because like when she was woken up by True Love's kiss, which turned out not to be so true, the curse didn't actually like go away, and they actually.
So if she touches the spinning wheel again,
anytime she pricks her finger, it happens, which kind of like brings a whole. They actually use that to sort of like highlight the concept of true love, and like because she's been woken up by many people who all felt like they truly loved her, but it never ended in anything. It was never like permanent, and like there's
maybe true love is as transitory as we think.
Yeah, apparently
it can be here or not here.
Yeah, there was a whole thing about that in the Fairest comic book, which is another spin-off about like the ladies. And one of the arcs was just Sleeping Beauty hanging out with Alibaba, which was pretty cool. And Yeah, she like went on a whole rant about that because he woke her up by kissing her with the true love's kiss thing, and she like went into a whole rant about it and was like, you know how many times I've been woken up by true love's kiss? Like millions and billions of times in the millions and billions of years I've been alive. You know how often it ends in a happy marriage? Never. Fucking never. True love, it's not always true. She like goes into a whole rant about it.
As a friend, I got you these vegetable cutting gloves. They have the little chainmail on the fingers. You ever seen those?
No.
Some types of very serious chefs and like fancy cooking folks use them because you can have like a super duper sharp knife and then you don't have to worry about making sashimi out of your finger.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, they got a little chainmail on it. That's what I'd give as a gift. It's just like there. You can have these. I mean, even if you don't wear them day to day, like now you can like cut vegetables and stuff anytime.
All right, but yeah, Sleeping Beauty, like Fables as a whole, Sleeping Beauty leaves off like the whole Fable series as a whole by being like a sleeping zombie in a flying car forever.
I mean, same.
Yeah, I told you about that, didn't I?
Yes.
I thought that she was gonna come back in Ferris and All the Land, which is a sequel to Ferris, because
flying
Ferris
car,
ended with
sleeping zombie, one pillow, no blankets.
You ever go night night?
Let's hold that thought. I know you could go on about Fables. Fables is your Jurassic Park.
Yes, it is.
But let's get back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Let's do that. Fables,
I think
Fables
that's our bread and butter. That's what people come here for.
That's what people come here for.
I mean, that's at least half of why people come here for.
Yeah,
the other
like
half is listening to our stories.
Listening to our stories. This is bad.
This is bad.
This is bad.
This is bad. What are we going to do, Nick? What can we do?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't think there is anything we can do, like it or not. If there's someone else who knows a lot about the DL6 incident, maybe.
Yanni. Laurel.
Laurel Yogi. Laurel Logie.
Laurel Logie. The guy we're after is, I believe he's Yanni Yogi. Yanni Yogi is the old man, is the guy who killed Hammond, Mr. Hammond, and framed Edgeworth for it.
He's actually Jack Carver from Far Cry 1. It all comes together.
Because he's running a boat shop.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Jack Carver rented
it all comes
boats.
together.
He was an ex-agent that rented out boats.
There is, Nick. Is it Polly?
Is it Jack Carver?
There is someone else who knows about DL6. The poor bird.
The bird!
I bet it's the bird.
It's the bird.
I hope it's the bird. The bird knows the word.
We're gonna... What if we just presented the bird?
Can you turn that down one click?
Oh, you mean the fan?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the volume. I was like, I can't
I'm
control
trying
the
here.
volume on your own headset.
Dude, he left the bird.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure I can help. That's a picture of a bird,
That's
sir.
a picture of a bird. Bird is the word.
Let me check the...
Let's go back to Jack Carver's place.
Ever since that one episode where we had like 15 minutes at least of like my mic just not being on, I've been extra sure to like check the audio during the episodes.
Yeah, go do that. Taylor is checking the audio to make sure that it comes through on his end.
Alright.
I am clearing the notifications.
Got too many notifications.
Too many notifications. Cannot fast travel while notifications are in your laptop.
You cannot fast travel while hot singles are in your area. I love that. Alright, let's examine verb. Maybe we should... Oh, we did that.
What? No, I thought...
Really? It's not Polly?
Is it not the bird? Sorry, Polly.
It's just us and...
It's gotta be
It's just
the
us
bird,
and
though.
us and Miles.
Just one pillow, no pillowcase.
Yeah, that's all we got is...
But it's gotta be Polly.
We got Yanni and we got Miles.
On another note, I've been playing Watch Dogs 2, and it's great. It's nice to see a game that finally has like an autistic character who feels like they would be a real person, because like so often in media it's like, oh, they're autistic, which means they're like socially awkward and great with computers, and that's all there is to them. But with Josh is like, yes, he's great with computers because he's a hacker, because he's in DegSec, so that just happens to be his skill because that's kind of what the game is based around. But also he's like a real person where he like freaks out and has a panic attack when he finds out that a bunch of DedSec's followers are just a bunch of bots, and he failed to catch it sooner. And Marcus is over here calming him down, like, man, you were the one that noticed, alright? We all fucked up. And he's like, okay. Or like later on, where there's this lady that's like patronizing him and being weird, but then like the whole mission ends with him like playing her for a fool. And Marcus is like, yo, you straight up played her. And he's just like, don't fuck with the hot sauce. And he just walks away. Marcus is over there like, that's my boy!
The hot sauce?
Yeah, that's his like alias. See, just shit like that.
Okay.
Like moments where he gets to like be a real person and not just on a computer the whole time.
It's been a while
great.
since I've played Watch Dogs 2, but
Yeah,
I'm gaining an
I'm having a great
appreciation
time.
for it.
It's good, cause like, as two people who have high functioning autism, I can tell you for sure that like being autistic doesn't mean you're skilled with computers. Like I play games and I read comics. That's my thing. Taylor can make art.
I sometimes do an art, and I sometimes do a write, and I like to play the video game. I play videos game a lot.
Like for us as two autistic people, that's all we have going for us.
That's the life right there.
That's the life right there.
I think so. Did we meet like? Hold on, I went and watched the previous episode, but I didn't watch like the very last few minutes of it, and so I'm a little off.
Yeah, I'm not sure where to go. Let's go back.
Okay, let's head to Miles and talk to him. I keep calling him Miles instead of Edgeworth now.
Yeah, Edgeworth. I think we need to present something to him, and it's obviously not the bird because
we presented the bird. We presented
let's
we got a
case
file on the DL6 incident.
Yeah.
It was that case that changed my life.
Changed
And tomorrow,
your life.
December 28th, statute of limitations runs out.
Statute of
If this were any other game, I would think that this was the moment where we like go and sleep, and then it's the next day, and then like that triggers the next events. Where Gumshoe's like, "Aha! I caught Yanni."
Yeah.
He was going by the alias Laurel.
What color is this dress?
Oh no, he was wearing a dress. We had conflicting reports about what color dress he was wearing.
Half the people said it was like gold, and half the people said it was blue or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, was it white and blue and gold and black
like
or something?
white and blue and gold and black, something like that.
I forget.
Something like I don't remember.
And tomorrow, December 28th, statute of limitations runs out.
Tomorrow, could that be a coincidence?
I think not. But even if the case is fully closed on paper, it will never be erased from my memory.
Dude,
Never.
you know, you just did an Incredibles reference where you were like, I think not, and you know what that reminded me of?
What?
One time, I posted on Facebook about like Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson, that's Deadpool, and I was like,
coincidence?
Oh, coincidence? And then you commented with like that, I think it was the actual picture.
Yeah, the
just
picture
like, I
of
think not!
him like all close to the camera. I think not.
This was like when I was just learning about like comic book characters, so...
That was before that we knew for realsies that there was like a connection.
Yeah. Did you read that already?
Yes. Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
Let's show him a picture of his dead dad. Letter from... Oh, we showed that to him already. What would happen if we click on it again?
Hold on. What?
Wait, what? Didn't we already go over this?
Wait, did we show him the
Yeah, I showed him the letter, but we did that last time, didn't we?
Yeah, but did we get did we show him the picture of Hammond?
Oh, Hammond? I don't know.
You got music.
We should probably do that. Could he be an innocent defendant? You got... Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I uncovered this.
Do. Da 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 da. We already read through all of that. Hey, would you like to see? Oh wait, we don't have a picture of Hammond. I feel like we should. You looking up a walkthrough?
I'm trying to find the. Is it glitching out, or is this just me?
I think it's just you.
Weird.
It does that to me sometimes too. If you like set it down a certain way, and the audio gets like all wonky.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
Grossberg?
Oh yeah, maybe we can finally ask the lawyer for some lawyer help.
Oh look, he's actually here.
He's actually here.
Let's see where this goes. Mr. Grossberg.
Ah, hello there. What's wrong? You look troubled. Let me get you a lozenge. Seriously though, I'm gonna get a.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a cough drop.
You need a cough drop?
Sure.
Alrighty. Or somewhere in here.
Waiting for Taylor to get the cough drop so he can come and read a sign. Oh yeah.
You have a cough drop, Mr.
Mr.
LoJack.
Thank you for the cough drop. Suck on your cough drop so you can read your
No
line
kidding.
now.
Can't believe you're not. I don't know what the last line was.
Well, you read the last line, so...
I thought there was a gap there.
No.
I was thinking about cough drops. My milkshakes! The boys, they're getting to them! I must go!
Dad! There's boys in the yard!
My milkshakes!
How many? All of them! My milkshakes! Remember that meme?
I love that meme.
Oh, that's a dead meme.
Just calm down and tell me what's happened, It's Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop!
He killed a man.
With this thumb.
Put a thumb against his head.
Pull my trigger, now he's dead.
I see.
Come
That's
bite to my thumb. I hope you know the stakes. I'll put the slug between your shoulder blades.
Put a slug between. That was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the epic rebels of history.
Do you think he meant a literal slug, or was it like a phrase for like a
Well, apparently slugs are also like... I think it's like shotgun ammo or something.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is that for some reason I imagine it funnier as like, oh yeah, I'll do something vaguely uncomfortable. I'll put a slug on your back.
I didn't participate in this, but back when I was at Arts for All, there was this one guy who was kind of annoying. He just had a really annoying personality.
And he had a slug.
No.
No?
But it did involve planting stuff on him, except they were cicadas. I didn't participate in that, but other people like around this one dude was just picking up cicadas and like putting it on his back, and he had like 5 or 7 cicadas on his back.
And let me guess, you didn't notice because they were being all quiet?
Yeah.
Huh. So...
I remember thinking it was pretty funny at the time because, like I said, he was really annoying. But that's also not something that I would ever do to someone.
Yeah, the poor guy and those poor cicadas.
Yeah, I hope those cicadas are okay. I mean, they're probably
The
dead
biggest
now.
question I have about cicadas is like, how, why do birds not eat them? Because they're so loud, you think a bird would just like find them.
Oh, free food.
Maybe they're so loud that it's hard to figure out where they are when you're close.
Maybe birds just don't like them.
Yeah.
Maybe
So,
they give off some weird smell to protect them or something. I don't know.
maybe. So, Edgeworth dreamt he shot his own father. It's only a dream. Only a dream.
That was just a dream.
And I'm still in a dream. Sneaking did that in the last episode. It was fun.
Oh man.
Lou Jack and I, before the show, Lou Jack and I were walking the dog, and
we were singing.
and we mentioned Drake and Josh, and I start singing the Drake and Josh theme, and he joins in. And, it was great.
Drake and Josh, it was awesome.
I wonder. What? If that's the case, why do you two look so troubled?
Because what if it's not?
Also, consider this. Yogi quite certainly holds a deep grudge against Miles Edgeworth. So deep he'd want to frame him for murder. This leads me to surmise Mr. Edgeworth's dream was not a dream. It was real. As you imagined. Miles Edgeworth threw the pistol to save his father. The pistol fired, and the deed was done.
Oh no.
No. I don't believe it.
I can't believe
Yogi
it's not,
was suspected of murder, but his career as a bailiff was irrevocably wrecked. Excuse me. I need a lozenge. Thus, he sought revenge on Miles Edgeworth.
Do lozenges exist still? Because I only ever hear of cough drops. I never hear of someone
Calling it a lozenge.
Calling it a lozenge.
That's the concept.
Thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Just two words for the same thing.
I think so. Yeah.
How a billfold is a wallet. My grandpa called them billfolds. Confused the hell out of me the first time I heard him.
Especially because I'm pretty sure modern billfolds are actually just a clip that keeps the bills folded. Not the same as a wallet.
That's a thing that exists?
Yeah, it's just a thing that clip all your money and a card together. Yeah, it's more compact.
That's neat.
If you got small pockets or something.
Which is pretty neat.
I read this line. Please continue.
Oh, sorry.
This was his last chance, of course, with the statute of limitations so close.
So close. And yet so far. Gregory Edgeworth. What do you know about Edgeworth's father?
Just plays the internet connecting noise, like the dial-up tone. What do you know about Edgeworth's father? Oh man, everyone's gotta be, 20-something to remember that?
Yeah, oh man. Dude, kids have been born into the world without knowing what dial-up is, without knowing what it's like to have to click on the same button 3 times of a phone to get the letter you want.
Well, I remember when we had to call the internet. We had to call that internet up on the phone.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a kid.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
He was a defense attorney without peer. It sounds trite, but it's true. Well, I may have had one peer now that I think about it. Your mentor, Mia Fey. My sister? Gregory Edgeworth was very disapproving of Mr. Von Karma's techniques. He didn't believe in the Von Karma balance.
That's no surprise. Freaking vampires.
Von Karma is an extreme man. Forged testimonies and evidence are nothing to him. The results? He has a perfect win record in court. To beat him, Gregory Edgeworth tried to call attention to his methods. And he lost. And died in despair, as it were. I see.
Damn. What about the spirit medium?
And Gregory Edgeworth was killed. Police called on a
excuse me.
spirit medium. That was your mother, Misty Fey.
Misty Fey?
Misty Fey, huh?
I am Gregory Edgeworth. I have been killed. Right.
Yeah, that's okay. I was gonna go more spooky, but then you went with somber, and I was digging it.
Ah, fair enough. The one who shot me was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi.
Yet Yogi was found innocent. That's when my mother left us. Everyone called her a fraud. That's right. Everyone thought she was, you see. Yet, now that I think about it, it seems the one who lied was Gregory Edgeworth's ghost. Gregory Edgeworth must have known who shot him. I don't. Oh, sorry.
I don't believe it.
I get the feeling that you're about to say.
I can't believe you would step over my lines like that.
Next, you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, it's JoJo."
Next, you're going to say it was I, Dio.
Now you're mixing your JoJo references.
They're all part of the same universe.
It's a very long time span, though. It's, man,
How far did you get in that?
I started JoJo at like the start, and I watched like about 4 episodes, and then I just like skipped to the next.
I never got past the vampires. I started
Honestly,
the
the vampire arc is pretty short and weird.
Yeah,
Like,
but Speedwagon though.
I'm not supposed to. Yeah. The weirdest thing is how what's the guy? Which was the guy with the blade hat?
I don't remember. Was that Speedwagon?
I keep forgetting.
I don't fucking remember.
But the thing is, like, he shows up and he gets to do the cool like flying hat like blade trick thing.
Kung Lao.
But after that, he's like in 0 battles, where like every time like a demon thing shows up, he's just like, "Oh, somebody do something! I wish I could do something." I'm like, weren't you like some kind of like high level street tough with a blade hat? Like you at least had a gimmick. What's going on here?
Did you forget how to use your hat?
Which is especially weird because, like, I swear some of the creatures that they fought would have been vulnerable to Blade Hat. Like, at least one, like the zombie guy in the tunnel, where it's like, aha, now he doesn't have a head. Even if he's, like, moving around, now he doesn't have a head, so he's easier to fight with the other guys.
And even if he does catch you, it's not like he can bite you because he has no head.
Yeah. So...
Headless zombie is pretty harmless, huh?
Sort of. I mean, if they're good at punching or whatever, they just punch you.
Yeah, that's true. They can't infect you with punches, though.
True.
Unless they have like crazy
Though I don't think it's
sharp
that. I don't think they're
nails.
that kind of zombie. They're more of a fantasy zombie, if I recall correctly. I don't know if they can infect others in the story. This is your line.
So you're saying he falsified his testimony? That Edward's
Falsified his
dad
testimony?
lied to protect his son?
It's only a possibility, Manu. But a possibility nonetheless.
Damn, dude. I guess we should go back and talk to Edgeworth now? Should we show him anything?
Picture Mia Fey. Picture of the bird.
Picture of Mia Fey. Hey, look, it's Mia Fey.
Ah, she was a beautiful she was a handsome woman. as he would say. I suppose. I'm truly sorry about what I did. Huh? Sorry about what? I can't. Could you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, what'd you say? Tell me about.
I just want to I want you to be real clear about this one. I'm sorry that I skipped out on the trial where I was supposed to defend you against a murder charge that you didn't do.
Yeah, I think I'll stay out of this one. Hey, look, it's Edward's dead dad.
For some reason, I read that as Gregory Edgeworth saying Grossberg, and I was like, wait, hold on, what was my voice for Gregory? I didn't have a voice for him.
Wait a minute, what timeline is this?
Gregory Edgeworth? Hold on, let me get my Pepsi Dragon Twist here. Oh no. Hold on, what timeline is this? Looks at the can of soda, it just says bees. Oh.
Bees, my god.
That would be another flavor. It would be like Pepsi mixed with tea, and it'd be like Pepsi Honey Swarm or something.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't get that reference, there's a I think it's a
deadly
Justice,
bee weapon.
Yeah, it's a Justice League comic book, like an old one.
Yeah,
I think
it was.
Amazon's Attack.
Was that part of Amazon's Attack? I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it
check
was.
out Atop the Fourth Walls.
Yeah.
Just look up Linkara Amazon's attack.
Amazon's attack.
Or Lankara deadly bee weapon.
Yeah, there's this.
You can find screenshots of it too. It's just
Yeah.
Batman saying a deadly bee weapon.
A deadly bee weapon.
Bees, my God.
Is it
that happened in, what was it, like France or something, where there was a bee attack on there was a swarm of bees that like attacked like a cop car or something, and it was like bees, my God.
Wait, what was that from?
I'll have to look it up, but there was this there was like a freak bee attack, like a very unusual.
Yeah, I'll look up what that's from.
I looked up bee attack and I just got various spooky concept arts of people covered in bees.
Wow,
And that makes me really uncomfortable.
That's not something.
Especially because that's not how bees attack. If you're covered in bees, it's because they're chilling. Because they're just hanging out on you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's firefighters in California. Swarm of 40,000 bees attacks police. Bees, my God.
Bees, my God.
Warhammer 40k bees.
Is this from a game or a movie or?
No, it's oddly enough
Did this actually happen?
the article is from the Sacramento Bee.
Wait, did this actually happen?
In Bee News, February 23rd, so just yesterday, 2020, at 7:14 a.m. by Don Sweeney. A swarm of 40,000 very aggressive, in quotations, bees attacked police and firefighters Friday afternoon, forcing the closure of the street in Pasadena, California, CNN reports. See, this is the thing that would, do you think there's like a deadly virus? There's no deadly virus in Pasadena. You know, there is 40,000 bees. The firefighters working here for many years. Yeah, so there was a lot of bees.
Speaking of deadly viruses, that coronavirus thing is terrifying.
It is. It's the spookiest thing. The spookiest thing about it, in my opinion, is how we've got like just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to information. Because as far as I've heard, the Chinese government is doing their best to keep. They're trying their hardest to prevent a mass panic and a mass exodus from China, which would actually be a bigger problem, because if people all like get onto planes and leave China and they have the early stages that are of coronavirus that aren't detected, they'll just cause like a worldwide like pandemic.
Yeah.
So, man, it's
terrifying.
Oh, it's getting all it's Last of Us out there. They got their what's the word? They were able to like just like throw together like hospitals for coronavirus specifically, like diagnoses and stuff. They've got like checkpoints set up, and just this man, it's got to be harsh out there. I don't even know if we don't have like a, what is it? I don't think we have like a vaccine for it yet. I don't think we got a, like a.
I think they're trying to make one. I think they. I think I read an article recently that said that they have been researching it and they actually found something that could lead to them creating a vaccine or something.
We've got this new this prototype technology involving putting soap and water on your hands. We've been doing that. Are you sure? Yes. Except Jim.
Except you, Jim.
So hold on, it would be in China. So whatever the Chinese equivalent of Jim would be.
He's dead, Jim.
Lee. There's a million Lees. Except for Lee, guy in the corner.
Try Lee. We got a million Lees. Need a better fake name. Hey, also, speaking of vaccinations, if you're one of those people that think vaccinations cause autism, one, it doesn't.
They don't.
Two, do it anyway. Because again, as two people with functioning high autism, I'd rather be autistic than dead.
Yeah, I mean, measles suck.
Yeah, it's
mumps,
not a thing that I want to have.
I don't want that in my life.
I'm not looking to live the life of Oregon Trail here.
That's the funny thing is that, like, technically speaking, like, even if there was like a 50% chance, like, even if there was like an honest, like, that was in the item description in the inventory box, was like, here's an item that like gives you resistance towards the disease but gives you X chance of getting like a mental disorder. The thing is, you can make a society that's more that's more accessible by people with disabilities. You can't make a society that's accessible by people who are dead.
Pretty much.
You can't fix it.
Vaccinate your kids, people.
Please. Alright.
Anyway, back to the game.
He was a gifted man. His death was truly a loss. He vaccinated his kids.
He vaccinated his kids and then he just died.
You know, there's, so, yeah, oh, that's still mine. I wonder what would have become of Von Karma were he alive. It'd be a battle of the century.
Yeah, right. Gregory versus Manfred. His name
Gregory versus Manfred!
Could someone make a rap battle between an epic rap battle between Von Karma?
You'd have
and
to
Edgeworth?
start with Phoenix versus Edgeworth, but not Edgeworth as we know him. Edgeworth from when you first meet him, because then you have like the dynamic of like you've got that sort of aggression where you both really dislike each other for like genuine reasons.
Yeah. Classic rivalries: Phoenix and Edgeworth, Yugi and Kaiba, Goku and Vegeta. Just all your classics.
Wait, was there a Goku and Vegeta one?
Well, yeah, it's Goku and Vegeta. Did you not know that their rival? Dude, their rivalry was like a big focal point.
No, I meant like in the rap battle.
Oh. No, but there was Goku versus Superman.
Because in the rap battles, they're usually not from the same like franchise or timeline or universe.
Yeah.
Like it'll be.
I thought you meant in the rivalry.
Yeah, they'll be like at least a century apart.
Do you not know anything about DBZ?
Yeah, I was like, no, I just don't think they. Look, outside of the Mustache mixtape, I don't think they've ever dropped any albums.
Mustache.
It looks good. That's great.
That's good.
Oh, so this is the letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. It does seem that Yogi was following this letter to the letter when he killed Hammond. But why? But why kill Robert Hammond? Hammond was a skilled defense attorney, but he defended clients not for their sake, but for his own.
Sorry. Huh? His own sake?
For his own sake.
His own sake.
I love that sake is spelled the same letters as sake in English.
You think Solid Snake or Big Boss like sake? You think
I can imagine
Japan
that.
And just been like, sake.
I feel like that's. I feel like. Okay, so Solid Snake. He would drink, but he's not. What's the word?
Connoisseur?
He's not a connoisseur, but he also like has someone on his team who's like really is a connoisseur and just like drinks their suggestions because he's like, oh, I'm gonna drink like once per year and I'm gonna have a really like fancy drink.
Right.
Then Ocelot exclusively drinks American whiskey because he's a cowboy, baby.
Look at this gun of mine.
And I don't know about the rest. The rest have spiked punch at the Christmas party, and that's it.
I feel like Big Boss would be a vodka guy. Or Scotch. Maybe Scotch.
And then and don't forget, there's also that legendary brewer, and when you capture him, it's like, actually, I learned my brewing from an even more legendary brewer.
I'm not the legendary brewer.
And then you go and find that guy, and he's like, oh, you need to meet my big brother. He's the more legendary brewer. Oh my god.
Oh, you need to meet my teacher. He's
you should fill in the audience about how what their joke comes from.
So in MGS 5 Phantom Pain, there's this mission where you have to like find this legendary gunsmith.
Yeah,
dude.
it's just called like the legendary gunsmith.
But then when you find him, he's like, "Oh, I'm not the legendary gunsmith.
I'm the apprentice of a legendary gunsmith."
And that just goes on for like 3 or 4 missions.
Yeah, like they basically like Billy Goat Scruff style.
It's pretty much like the entire Mario game where it's like your princess is in another castle.
The funny thing is that if I had that in a video game, I'd still have it. The apprentices still gave you like little like stat boosts, and that like the point point was that they keep getting more powerful. So, like, when you get the apprentice, they're like, oh, I'm a good gunsmith, but you should do the next one. The next one has even higher stats.
Right.
And so you still are encouraged to continue the mission, but it's kind of like this recurring theme. You're like, okay, who's the real... You're the legendary gunsmith. You're the legendary gunsmith. I'm the legendary gunsmith.
Is there anyone around here who isn't the legendary gunsmith?
Are there any other legendary gunsmiths I should know about? T-Dog?
D-Dog?
Or the D-Horse, and it's just standing at like a lathe or something.
Or what, the mech thing? What is it?
The mech thing, and it's
like...
standing at a lathe, like one of those spinning tool things, and it's making bullets.
I am gunsmith. I am gunsmith, and you are too.
We made a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. It's just a gunsmith.
Just a gun.
It just makes guns.
It's a gun that makes guns.
Logistically speaking, imagine if we didn't have to purchase guns. Dude, that would just break MGS5.
Right.
Like imagine how good the campaign would go if you could just get all the top tier guns at the start.
Ah, dude, that'd be amazing.
I mean, honestly, it would probably be a little better pace that way.
Honestly, yeah.
I love the rubber bullets in that game because of that satisfying, like, slap noise they make.
I like the banana. You remember the banana?
No, I think it's...
Or was that in Peace Walker? I think it was in Peace Walker. There's
in MGS5, there's a thing where if you lose a bunch of times, you can get a stealth item called the chicken hat that just... It makes you look dumb, but it makes you, like, super stealthy.
Yeah, but
and there's a big chicken hat where, when you wear it, you're actually just straight up undetectable.
Yeah, well, there's the chicken hat, but then there's, like, the baby chicken hat.
Yeah, the baby chicken hat.
Anyway, did you read that?
He never trusted his clients, that one. The only thing he trusted was his own ability, and that darn chicken hat. But... got his client found innocent, so why should it matter?
Man, if I trusted my own ability, I wouldn't be running around with this fucking chicken hat on my head. I'm just so tired of getting shot at.
Quiet got into this facility, but how? And she's got the chicken hat.
Just get the chicken hat.
I love that one of the unlockable technologies in MGS5 is a water-resistant box. Specific, like it's not useful. There's only like two main maps. There's like the desert and the jungle, which is I think what is it like Afghanistan and somewhere in Africa, I think.
Yeah.
South America.
Africa.
Yeah, but like because the first entire map is like a desert and it never rains, like you don't really need the water resistant one.
Right.
But like it's funny because like it's like oh this special technology, it's a water resistant box, and specifically because then you can hide in the box in a puddle and it won't just dissolve.
Right.
I'm like, that's cool and all, but that's way too niche. Like, that should just be an unlock that shows up as part of the story when you get there. They're like, look, we worked on this, like, plastic box technology.
Right.
Actually, my dear, it's quite different. He won that innocent verdict for no one but himself. Yogi was a free man. Socially, he was ruined.
Huh?
You'll understand soon enough. Sorry, I still have this lozenge. Wait!
Oh wait, there's more! What is it?
Try ohungi! Ohungi! It's real food!
PJ Bland's stuff to eat right off the street.
What's that from?
It was some parody commercial. I can't remember what this was a commercial for, but it was an advertisement for a restaurant that was making fun of other restaurant advertisements, and their parody of a restaurant advertisement was like PJ Bland. It was just PJ Bland's.
Stuff to eat off the street?
And it was like, that's bland food. Come to this restaurant, we got real food. And
we got
that was...
bland food.
No, but like it goes to that, and then it like goes to the actual advertisement. Because it's like a parody advertisement within the advertisement of another restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Because the advertisement is making fun of other restaurants, saying that their restaurant's
okay.
better.
That's my brain's kind of...
Yeah, so it's like PJ Bland's.
Imagine that, like, I just got an
there.
extra wrinkle in my brain. If I hold my nose and breathe out, it'll pop back into place. This letter. I've seen this handwriting, sir. That's what I was thinking. See, it mentioned when it... Okay, so I don't think it's any... So we know that someone was directing Yanayogi.
Uh-huh.
And the first... our early thought was, oh, well, why not Von Karma? Because, like, now you've got someone who wants revenge. You've got Von Karma who reminds him that he wants revenge, and it'll just give him basically an easy trial. And that's how it was supposed to be, because remember, he kept saying, oh, this will be clear, cut, and dry, super easy.
Right.
So, not only, like, this is, like, the ultimate extension of his policy, which is, instead of just, like, picking easy trials and, like, manufacturing evidence, he just manufactured the entire crime.
Right,
to get the trial.
Yeah, probably.
And the thing is, they mentioned that he's, like, an ultra-perfectionist, and that's why I was thinking when it says, like, you know, Yanni, get your revenge or whatever, that it mentions, oh, it's in, like, really clean, neat handwriting, and I was like, only one madman has handwriting this neat. Michael Stone! And then it just cuts to the kid in, like, that kid in, like, middle school who would, like, write his name in, like, typewriter fonts, like the serif font. And it was all, like, evenly spaced.
Oh, we knew a kid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give him an intermediary name, so it'll be, like, Mike Stone or something.
Yeah.
But he's got one of those author-sounding names.
Yeah, he was an interesting kid. He refused to draw humans because he said humans were boring to draw.
Maybe. He was really good at drawing Transformers, and I really liked talking about Transformers with him, because he had a lot of, like, opinions on how they were balanced and, like, what they could do, and he drew his own, which, you know, they're really complex. So getting one that looks like a good Transformer that's got just enough, like, machines so you can tell what it's supposed to be it's an art, really.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good artist. Did not like drawing people, though.
Yeah, I don't think I've never seen him draw a person.
Never drawn, like, he would be asked about that, and he'd be like, no, people
it's like,
are
no, I like trying, if something's going to be humanoid, it's going to be boxy, and it can turn into a truck.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Why would you draw something else? Yeah, I kept telling him he should just be a designer at Hasbro, because that would be, like, his bread and butter.
Oh, man.
They'd be like, hey, what do you got, Mike? And he'd be like, okay, so you know how, like, smart cars are kind of cute?
Yeah.
Bam, made a Transformer for that.
Nice.
Done. Here's a Prius. It turns into a Transformer. It's like a wine mom. There you go. I'm just making these up on the spot, but I'm just imagining that's what he could craft.
Oh man, I hope he's doing well.
Me too. I hope he gets like a job at Hasbro or something.
Yeah, I hope he becomes a successful artist.
I've seen this handwriting somewhere before, a long time ago. Last time I saw this handwriting, it was in Sanskrit. Whose handwriting was this? I mean, if we knew that, then... Do you have any idea who wrote this? You know, I think it's Manfred von Karma.
Well, obviously it's Manfred von Karma. Excuse me. Could it be Manfred von Karma?
Von Karma? Von Karma?
Von Karma.
Von Karma.
Von Karma.
Von Karma? Why would he have something to do with this? I'm asking that as, like, sort of sarcastically. I'm gonna let you answer that, though.
Why
for the
would
audience.
he ever have anything to do with this bullshit?
I'm just... Oh, that's what it is. I've been wondering what that globe in the back right there is. He's got a map of the Minecraft overworld.
Huh!
It's just green! Yeah, that's my best guess. Usually, like, even the simplest globes in the background always have, like, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue.
Yeah.
Even if they're not even supposed to be shaped like Earth in any way.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure.
Von Karma. Von Karma. Wait! You're right, my boy. This is Von Karma's handwriting. I'm sure of it. I used to see it all the time on court reports. What? But that means...
No, it's gotta be like, what?
What? Oh, I can never get that tone right, because I read it as a long what, but it's not genuinely surprised. It's like cartoonishly surprised.
What?
Yeah, I skipped the what? Notes. Just be like, but that means the one who told Mr. Yogi to kill was
Von Karma.
Correct. Manfred von Karma himself.
Oh, what does this mean then? Why would Von Karma want to frame Edgeworth? Oh.
Do we have any documents on Von Karma? No.
No, I don't think so. We got this metal detector. Hey, Grossberg, check out this sick metal detector.
Quite sorry. I have nothing to say concerning that.
Yeah, whatever.
Except just keep it pointed away from my desk for no particular reason.
Whatever, go hunt a deer or something, you Roosevelt motherfucker.
Just to remind everyone, I don't like the real world Roosevelt. I like the fictional version of Roosevelt played by Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I like the over the top concept of a Roosevelt-esque character.
Wait, why don't you like real life Roosevelt?
Because like real life presidents always are like complicated and usually have like a bunch of like weird crimes, and I don't want to go into it. I want to be like, look, I've got this pseudo Roosevelt.
Right.
That's the concept I'm going for.
Hey, here's a bird. No? Okay, cool.
Oh, a bird. I've heard quite a lot about this. It's been quite the talk of the town.
Did I show him the DL6 already?
Tomorrow we'll see the completion of not one, but 2 trials. All thanks to the statute of limitations. However, I'm afraid the damage the DL6 incident has done will never be eased.
Well, we should probably go talk to Edgeworth now.
Hold on. Because he wanted us to show him something, I think?
Did he?
No, he, what is it? It sounded like none other than Von Karma, and then, do we have anything?
Here's Robert's autopsy report. No.
I mean, all we have is the handwriting. Let's see, we got the blurry photo, overhead map, metal detector. That one, maybe?
I think we showed him this already.
Gregory Edgeworth? How did they get this footage? He was a gifted man.
Oh, we did read this one already.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops, nope, didn't want to do that. Let's go talk to Edgeworth.
Yeah, I mean, it's all coming together, which, by the way, this is gonna be a running theme of the games. Like, don't tell me if it is, but do you think it'll be a running theme of the games? When I say don't tell me it is, I mean like the folks at home and stuff. Like, do you think it'll be a running theme where like we end up in a legal battle and the person who's accusing us has just been projecting this whole time because it's always been them?
Yeah.
Let's.
You read that already?
Yeah, I read that one.
I don't think it. We can't talk.
Yeah, no, stop. Oh.
What?
Never mind. No, we read that. No,
Yeah.
I thought he said that it was the handwriting.
Yogi.
Wouldn't he know the guy's handwriting too, though? Yes, give him the... Yeah, we showed him that.
I literally just handed that to him.
And did he not notice the handwriting, though?
No, I guess not.
Well, that's dumb.
Let's go talk to...
I don't know.
Nope.
Let me check my handy-dandy notebook here.
Yeah.
I figured out one thing that you can do in LA Noire VR that I didn't know you could do. Because I saw someone playing it. You can actually use the little pen thing, and so when you have like your book open and it has a person's face, you can like give them a little beard.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we went back to the Wright & Co. and this popped up.
One day left, Nick.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I had this open to the article about bees. Well, no time to waste. Let's get going.
What to do? I'm not gonna ask those. She's just gonna be like, let's look for clues and build a case. Like, thanks, Maya. I could never have figured that out for myself.
Alright, so we got to...
We showed Grossberg a bunch of stuff.
Alright, it looks like I'm trying to find where... Let's see here.
Dude.
Yes.
There's gotta be some crossover, like, fan stuff with Wrench from Watch Dogs 2 and Zero from Borderlands 2.
A robot and a robot face?
Well, nobody's 100% sure if Zero is a robot. It's never confirmed what he is. But he also has, like, an emoji thing that except with him, instead of it being like a mask, it's like his helmet, and the helmet just kind of like projects a giant red emoji out.
Right, yeah. Now I'm imagining Wrench using that technology.
Yeah, I'm imagining like...
Well, the first thing he uses it for is to give himself a holographic nose. You're like, there. And you can like, oh, no, he's like, look, I'm totally incognito, and it just makes a holographic nose, mustache, and glasses. The Groucho style.
Man, I would like to see those two interacting.
It doesn't add up.
It just raises too many questions.
Because I can't find where it transitions to the... Let's see here.
Well,
oh! Yeah, we were before this.
Well, look harder!
It turns out they do try calling Polly to the stand.
Oh, well, we're not there quite yet.
Let's see. What time is it, by the way, in the game?
What time is it? I don't know. How
they didn't do a. They do an intro every once in a while, but let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's see here.
Oh wait, there's one more thing to talk to Teddy over here about.
Oh yes, I believe you've forgotten something.
Yeah, apparently.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if they had when the NPCs drop like little hint lines where you're about to leave and it's like, Phoenix, I swear you had something else on your mind. You seemed like you had like a list of 3 things and then you just kind of left it.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
If it truly was Von Karma who wrote this letter, you would know the truth.
Okay, but here's a question. Which one is cooler, Zero's emoji thing or Wrench's emoji?
Oh, don't make me choose. Honestly, I actually prefer Wrench's simply because it's...
I feel like it's more practical.
It's brighter, it's bright white on a black background, whereas the problem is that even though I like that Zero's is a hologram, the thing is, if you project a hologram that is translucent, then you see the stuff behind it and you don't have as good contrast. Like, it's actually, like, it would actually be more visible if it was just on their face.
Right.
I'm just looking up keywords here.
Well, when you're done with that, you should probably read your line.
I don't even know what all this is about.
Up on out of here with my walkthroughs.
What? That means correct. And from Von Karma himself. Ah, okay. Yes.
Very good.
Of course. Also get a Von Karma. There we go. All right. Even though that Miles Edgeworth had accidentally killed his own father.
Bah!
He'll say as much tomorrow in court, I should think. He'll press the point until the court finds Miles Edgeworth brings up his just like his like sprites for his hands just kind of drift up from the bottom of the screen and then just go down, go back up in quotations. Guilty.
Oh no!
That's what we do if we had an editor.
Right.
But how would Von Karma know about Mr. Edgeworth's past like that? Even Mr. Edgeworth thought it was just a nightmare. That I do not know. Maybe he's got psychic powers.
Dun, dun, dun!
And I do know that Von Karma is both persistent and a perfectionist. He may be seeking to satisfy a grudge against Gregory Edgeworth by hurting his son.
What do you mean?
It was 15 years ago.
15 years
We're living in a log cabin. Remember I wanted a pony. Never got the pony. Actually, had to eat horse meat during the war.
What is that from?
That is from Fairly Odd Parents. It was a gag that, like, really stuck with me.
Yeah, wasn't that Mr. Crocker?
I don't remember.
Because, like, I remember he did a whole bit where he was, like, born in a log cabin, but it was, like...
Yeah, I think that was... it was either that or Timmy's dad. It was... Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Never got the pony. And this is where I put my trophy. If I had one!
Man, there's some classic gags in that just have a lot of staying power.
Yeah. Just cuts to, like, the judge from before he stood up to Von Karma. He's like, this is where I would keep my spine. If I had one! But he
Von Karma met Gregory Edgeworth in court, and Von Karma did win. But he didn't make it through the trial unscarred. They got into a big sword fight.
What happened in the trial between Edgeworth and sorry, I didn't have my coffee this morning, judgy boy, or lawyer boy, whatever the fuck you are. Roosevelt person.
He's got a similar voice to the judge, that's why I'm glad they're not in the same scenes.
Yeah.
Von Karma got the guilty verdict that he wanted. He won the trial. But Gregory Edgeworth accused Von Karma of faulty evidence.
Von Karma.
And though he lost the trial, Mr. Edgeworth's accusation stood.
Carmy is what his mom calls him. He's like, Carmy, Warmy.
Manfred the Man Von Karma versus Gregory the Egg Edgeworth. Live, pay-per-view. Faulty evidence.
Faulty evidence?
Please.
Please, shut up.
Those are the only penalty Von Karma has ever received in his career as a prosecutor. Oh, he got his 2 bars exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. Technology.
Whoa, technology.
Must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Went training in Tibet.
A vacation? Phoenix, shut up.
Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. It's really hard to believe that he has a perfect record, but he also only chooses easy cases, and somehow he has plenty of work.
Yeah.
I think it would be few and far between.
Yeah.
Really? He doesn't take vacations? He just he just sits in a... Yeah, I mean, they say that he just goes home and sleeps in some kind of box with the soil of his homeland. Not sure what's up with that. Like...
He never goes out during the daytime either. Very weird.
So he didn't, like, go up to the mountains or down to the sea? Did he always say thank you, or at least say please?
Wait, what are you... I do not know what you're referencing right now.
I'm talking about conjunctions.
Junction?
They make things function. They hook up words and phrases and clauses.
I don't know any other words for that song besides conjunction.
It's very catchy once you hear it a few times. But yeah, you can go up to the mountains or down to the sea. You should always say thank you, or at least say please.
Huh.
I paraphrased, but I read the line. Don't tell me he's never been to Europe.
You have strange ideas about vacations, Maya. Europe is a perfect place to go to if you're on vacation. Like, go visit Venice, Italy. That's in Europe.
Yeah, let's go to Venice and be on a little boat.
Yeah, go hang out in Italy. You could go hang out in Germany if that's your thing.
Do you think do you think you can call someone? There's like a call-in service in Venice where you can call someone and they'll send a little boat to you.
Oh, dude, I hope so.
Like a taxi thing.
I hope so. What other places are in Europe? There's Italy. There's
what other places are in Europe?
There's Italy. There's Germany.
France, Belgium. You got the UK. All the Scandinavias.
Is Russia in Europe?
No, not really. I mean, it's basically represents Eastern Europe, but it's technically like a huge chunk of Asia, but just Caucasian Asia.
Huh.
There's That's the thing, and it was like,
Caucasian.
Russia may be interfering with the Iowa Caucasus, and it's like, well, Russia is known to invade the Caucasus. Those are the mountains on the west end of Russia. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, that's funny. you have I read that already.
In any case, that's why I don't understand the term Caucasian, because, like, you'd think that Caucasian would be, like, a very small, specific group of, like, folks who live around those mountains, but it's, like, a general term for just, like, the entire chunk east of that in Russia and the entire chunk west in Europe.
Man, I don't know.
I don't know.
They said that the two people were, like, these two Caucasian guys. Well, there you go. We're not Caucasian. We're white. Just cuts to Josh, like, whispering in his ear, and he was like, ah.
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. That's not what that means. That was the only time he took vacation from work. That's what you said, pretty much.
Yeah.
I believe the penalty upset him quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something so traumatizing about those two blue bars exploding in your face. And it's always two. It's never one. It's never three. It's always two. It's like basketball.
My blue
Everything
bars.
operates in 2 points, except there's no 3-pointer.
You know, the sad thing about this is that, like, at the end of the day, someone with this much perfectionism, like, it's gotta be a thing, right? It's gotta be, like, it's gotta be a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's something, like, at the end of the day, this guy needs, like, he isn't just, like, an evil lawyer. He also, like, just genuinely needs some kind of therapy.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't go through your life with this level of, like, perfectionism. I mean, how do you even finish a can of soda? Because you'll be like, there's probably one drop left in it, and you, like, leave it upside down overnight or something. Like, really specific thing. But that's what sticks out to me when I think of, like, if I couldn't, like, let small things go like that.
I used to be really bad with that, particularly when it came to, like, sodas or snacks or, like, anything that I would, like, eat or drink. I would have to do so in, like, threes. Or, like, it would always have to be, like, an odd number.
I remember you mentioning that, and then, like, way back in, like, I think it was high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how do you ever eat Pop-Tarts? And you're like, just have 3 bags of Pop-Tarts. I was like, that's a lot of Pop-Tarts. Bro, I eat one, I'll have one Pop-Tart, or one, pair of Pop-Tarts, and I'll be like, yep, that's, if I have one more, I'm gonna have to call in sick.
Well, for me, if it was something like Pop-Tarts or things that came in pairs, I would count it as, like, one. It would be, like, one serving of that thing.
Yeah.
So I would just, like, make sure I had an odd number of it. Because it wasn't specifically 3, it just had to be, like, an odd number.
Okay.
That was an oddly specific, like, compulsion that I had that I eventually grew out of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, odd. If he wanted to keep a perfect record so badly, why would he take such a long vacation?
This isn't odd, Phoenix. This is a misery. I missed up the line, but yes.
Sorry.
This isn't odd, Phoenix. This is a mystery.
Odd is when,
Odd is a big-toed tadpole.
Odd is a guy with a mask that makes emojis on his eyes.
Yeah, that's...
And gets, like, super angry.
What do we do, Nick? When Karma's gonna bring up DL6, you can bet on it. If Mr. Edgeworth pleads guilty to DL6.
I won't let him!
Yes, Mr. Wright, I hate to say this. Your fly is down.
Oh, shit.
But even accidental murder is murder, you know. Well, I mean, legally speaking, I think it can sometimes count as manslaughter, but it's, I don't actually know the legal...
Yeah, because manslaughter is like when you accidentally kill someone.
Yeah, which is weird because there's also the weird, like, blur between it is that I recently learned that certain accidents that are caused by negligence can be pursued up to their, like, maximum in a court of law. So, like, basically, say if you're running a dinosaur park and the dinosaurs got out, then you could be held responsible for, like, basically you'd be held responsible for, like, the actual murder of everyone who got eaten by a dinosaur.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can understand negligence. I can even understand, like, manslaughter. But the weird thing is how, like, how there's definitely a distinction between premeditated murder and extreme negligence.
Right. Oh, hi, Mage. Oh, we got a cat. We got a cat with us. Oh, great.
Although, in some cases, I can imagine it being one and the same, where it's like, where you could try to do that on purpose as a trap, it just seems really unlikely as an overall, like, rule. Like, yes, I built something that was really rickety, and I expect it to fall and break, and someone will die. Like, that would be the case where you actually would, like, prosecute as premeditated murder instead of just, like, negligence.
The first time I learned what manslaughter was, it was...
It sounds worse than murder, you know? It's
yeah,
like, it sounds like you got his meat bits and, like, cooked them up.
Yeah, but I actually learned that term from, like, a animated movie. I think it was Monster House. You remember Monster House?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was where I
So
learned
it's
the
a
term from.
girl house. It's got a uvula.
Questions? Yes. Are you nuts? Is that pee? Because that's really disgusting.
Man. Monster House was an interesting concept.
Monster House was fun. I know that. I just believe in Edgeworth's innocence.
Who is this?
That's a weird thing to say. I can't believe he'd kill someone.
I'm gonna save that for later. Move all this off my phone.
Go, stop looking up.
Hit the do not disturb. but Nick, Mr. Edgeworth admits it himself. His father must have lied to protect him from beyond the grave.
I don't care. I know he's not guilty.
Mr. Wright. Sorry, excuse me. Biting on a giant lozenge. If you say so, I suppose I could go check again. The police files might hold something of interest.
Mr. Grassberg, thank you.
Buller! I can't promise anything. In fact, I think the chances of finding something are slim.
I understand. The police materials. The police materials. Paige, you are piercing through my skin, and that doesn't feel good.
Oh, is that Mage?
Yeah.
That's one of his cats.
One of our cats.
Hey, Mage. Hello.
So I guess we're done talking to him?
She's just perching on his leg.
Oh, yeah, she's a lover. She's a big old lover girl.
Kitty cat.
Now is Gumshoe around? Hey, look, we can finally do something here, I think. December 27th, Police Department.
May's just come to visit me.
Huh.
There's hardly anyone here. There's like that one guy in the background and the chief, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that spooky... What was it?
Spooky badger. It's a blue badger.
It's a blue badger.
Because he's like, was it Badgie the badger?
Why is he a jester?
I don't know. He should be a badger.
Yeah,
like I'd be okay with like a Sonic OC, like a Styx the Badger kind of deal.
Yeah.
But that's just not a badger.
That's just nightmarish.
It's not even like a bear. It's like a little jester.
Looks like a jester.
It looks like a discount Chowder character.
Man, it looks like a jester had sex with like one of those fleshy things from Bleach, and this was the result.
Chowder, what happened to your shirt? Oh, I ate it during the cutaway. Like between when it cuts to there, then it cuts back, and it's like now we just Chowder. What happened to your shirt?
Chowder.
Oh, you're fine. No.
Everyone must be out looking for the old guy, Yogi. That's my throat. I need that for breathing.
It's you.
Swallowing food.
My police voice is just like discount Gumshoe. I don't think Gumshoe will be coming back today. He's staying out late looking for someone. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is pounding the pavement for real. He's out there just punching it.
Just punching it. Just punching the shit out of it.
Well, we were wondering if we could check out the records room again.
He's training for the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Well, now I can't have just anyone. Suddenly I turned into 1920s. And have just anyone wandering around in there.
Suddenly I have a transatlantic accent. Oh, no.
And the Kaiser is on the move. But I guess Mr. Von Karma is in there now, and now in there now. You know, you can go in as long as he's there. Whatever. Von Karma. Ooh, is he messing with evidence? Ooh, he's probably messing with evidence.
Ooh, probably.
He's probably stealing all that stolen gold.
Probably.
Or something. Yeah, it's just arrived, actually.
Von Karma's in the records room.
It was Von Karma in the records room with the wrench.
I was gonna say a giant file.
With the...
It's just like one of those files that are so
with the
massive
filing
that
cabinet. He just throws a filing cabinet.
No, just like one of those massive files that are like a brick. Because
no, and he just like tosses that.
Just like boom.
Oh yeah, the like pillow-shaped ones.
Yeah.
Nick, let's hurry.
Move to record room. December 27th, Police Department, records room.
Dusty as always. This random police guy. Oh yeah, I'm here. It's just the police officer Dusty. Or
yeah.
Records administrator Dusty or something.
Right.
You're lying.
Well, I would
Yeah,
read
I was
it
gonna
if
say
you
that we were only here just...
we were only here just yesterday.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm sure they just haven't had time to clean.
Hold on.
Taylor,
What is this? Okay. What's wrong, Nick?
Nothing. I was just noticing that he isn't here. Von Karma.
Is he like... just imagining he's like hiding behind like a shelf. Just trying his best to not be noticed.
It was I, Von Karma.
No, you don't see him because he turned into a bat and hid in the air vents.
Right.
There's a moment in What We Do in the Shadows when two vampires get into a fight. And like, ooh, you want to go? Yeah, let's go. And they both turn into bats and they flying around like two bats getting into a fight.
Right.
But then they get near the ground. One turns back into a human, grabs a bat, and like throws him at a wall. And he turns back into a human right as he hits the wall. So it's like, Joom. It was surprisingly good effects for what felt like a really like. I mean, I feel like the aesthetic of the movie was more important than the actual like budget, because the aesthetic was that it was a low budget movie where occasionally like something like really fancy would happen as if it were just happening in front of them because it was supposed to be a documentary.
Right.
Or that was the
Something like that.
the presentation.
This cabinet is where they keep evidence for current cases. Some of the things are obviously murder weapons, others are question marks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The Riddler. Dude, oh my gosh. Dude, I just realized something.
What?
That, what if instead of Batman collecting the Riddler trophies, that's like something that the Gotham PD, like, one of the newbies on Gotham PD, like, they're like, okay, well, we want you to do some legwork, but we don't want you to, like, you know, end up fighting, like, Bane's goons or something, so here's your job. I need you to collect a bunch of the Riddler trophies. And so instead of having, so, like, Batman, he shows up to one of those things, and he's like, all right, we got, like, 200 of these. Let's start with this one. And it's already gone. And he's like, hold on. And he just, Gordon? Yeah, Bats? Do you have your guys pick up the Riddler trophies? Yeah, we got like 220 of them in confiscation right now. All right, I'll be over in a minute. He just walks in and it's just a minute straight of him just going ching, ching, ching. Man, what would that look like? Just a pile of them. Dude, that's what should be like an Easter egg in the next Arkham game. You know, it's the future, and they have like the evidence lockers, and one of them is just like a huge like cardboard, like a TV cardboard box cabinet that's just full of the thing, and it has like a net weight on the side of it, and it says like evidence number blah blah blah, Riddler trophies.
Yeah.
There should be, you know, 223 of these precisely.
Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Most of it just looks like random junk.
Nick, what do you think this clothespin is for?
Probably for clothes. Don't touch that! It's evidence! What are we looking at right now?
I know. Maybe it's for old-timey photos. Or technically modern photos until
maybe.
recently.
What's that open thing?
Non-digital photo. Like, as in you use a clothespin and you go into the dark room and you put up your photos with the chemicals, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking at this open filing cabinet here.
Huh?
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
One of the drawers here is open.
Someone
And,
must have...
and Manfred's in it.
Old man Manfred.
That's where he's hiding. It's just like his head looking up.
Someone must have been looking at it recently.
The label says unsolved cases, evidence.
Unsolved cases.
Nick,
What? Don't yell at me,
we got a
God.
whole thing here on the last season of Sherlock. It
Wait.
just doesn't add up.
Wait, what? Have you seen that?
There's also a whole thing on the last season of Lost.
Oh man, Lost went fucking nuts.
It's just a bunch of question marks there.
Lost is a show that I like watched sometimes enough to like get what the plot was and enough to like get to the end. So I haven't seen every episode or even most episodes. Just like enough episodes to understand what like the overarching plot was.
If I recall
And
correctly,
then I saw the last episode and I was like, what?
But I think the thing is that Lost was a show that forgot what it was gonna lead up to. So it seemed like I like the original concept, which is that the island isn't like a random island that has a facility or whatever. It's actually like a form of purgatory or something.
Right.
But the fact that I guess it wasn't, just didn't really add up, and so a lot of people were like, "What about the other characters, though? What happened to them? How did they? Why? You lost the plot." Oh, I see now. It's called Lost, and it doesn't have it loses itself. It's a show that lost itself.
I will be right back. Take this for a minute.
Okay, what are you doing?
I gotta blow my nose.
Okay. A file for DL6. It's completely empty. I thought it would just be missing the papers that we took out of it, but let's see, Phoenix Voice. What? What are you doing in here? Evidence. What are you doing in here? What? I thought you were already in here, Von Karma. Eek! He looks different from... He looks different from Dead On like that. Von Karma! You... How do you know my name?
What?
Huh? Have we met? What do you say? We see each other every day, don't we? Miles Edgeworth's defense team? The defense team. Ahem, I beg your pardon, I see. I rarely remember defense attorneys. They're like bugs to me. I don't concern myself with tiny details such as time and place.
Hey, I'm back. What a douchebag. He looks more terrifying up front. Like
Yeah.
That's some nightmare feel for
You know
it.
what terrifies me? You know what terrifies me and Jordan when we're when we're just walking down the street and some guy who's like all tatted up is like, oh, it's you guys. Hey, you should make fun of us though. You should do that more. And they get the big eyes.
Wait, what?
That was a thing from Key and Peele.
Oh.
Where like some guy with like a bunch of like face tattoos will be like, man, he'll be like, oh, you should do a thing about like this subculture or something, man, that'd be so funny, and it's like, oh, they get those big eyes, and I'm just like,
Dude,
okay.
There was something like that in one of Gabriel Iglesias' stand-ups. He's in America talking about a stand-up that he did in a different country. Can't remember what it was, but he was basically like making fun of all these different cultures and talking about like the common drink for like each culture would be. And I think it was a German guy, I want to say, and he's like, hey, but what about us though? And he like kept harassing him about it until Gabriel Iglesias got like all annoyed by him, and he was just like, blood of Jews. Yeah, it was very weird. Him retelling that story was a lot funnier than the actual incident itself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought he was just gonna be like, bro, it's beer. It's got to be German lager, right? Come on.
He kept heckling him, and then he got like annoyed. So he was just like,
it's got to be some kind of, I don't know, noble pills or whatever.
The retelling of the story was pretty funny.
I imagine
I imagine that the actual.
I imagine it's about the delivery, because. Oof. What? Hello?
Oh, okay. But yeah, they're like bugs to me, needless things to be crushed.
I can barely hear you.
They're like bugs to me,
there we
needless things to be crushed.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I can see how this guy was Edgeworth's mentor.
He's got those big eyes. He wants Key and Peele to tell a joke about him.
Oh wait, that's your line.
Mr. Edgeworth
I have
is
a
your
feeling that you're gonna say.
Student, right? Remember, it comes from
oh
the
yeah,
guy.
oh yeah. A romanticist who still can't shed that veneer of amateurism. Just like his father, always second-rate. Mr. Von Karma, you had an axe to grind with Mr. Gregory Edgeworth, didn't you? Me? Grudge against a mere defense attorney? Why? Because he dealt a blow to your otherwise perfect trial record.
It's got just, but he also smiles. So he's like,
So you did, but what I don't get is, why did you take his son under your wing afterwards? The son of your most bitter rival. That, my dear attorney, is none of your business. Tomorrow will be the last day of this trial. It's been a while since I've had a defense attorney last this long. Still, you will lose in the end. How am I doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
And, you remember to throw your gun into it, especially on the ending notes. That's the thing, is that when you have...
I'm Karma.
Yeah. You really have to put your gun into it on the last letter or the last vowel. That way, everyone knows what word you're saying. Because remember, he's low, but he's precise, so he pronounces words very deliberately. So, like with words like a T at the end, it'll be really harsh. So it'd be like, "will admit his own guilt." But words that end with like an O or something, it's like, now everyone will know. You got to make sure that you add a little bit of air on the end. Yeah, you got to put a little push on it.
Miles Edgeworth will admit his own guilt.
There we go.
His guilt of 15 years ago, you mean? You're quite the researcher. If you've done your own work so well, then certainly you must understand. You got it good. Now give it a little, make it a little more colloquial, like, because he shouldn't be, he's specific, but he's not struggling with the words, you know? Yeah.
Try to think of how the sentence flow.
That's just because this voice is difficult.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Me, yeah.
It's like a slingshot. It's easy to do, but difficult to master.
Yeah. You know what Miles Edgeworth... you know what...
I had that Swedish for a little while. Bringing it back.
So much Swedish food.
You know how my theory was that he's all linens under there. He's just a head covered in linens. Actually, he's just Swedish falafel.
He's just Swedish falafel the whole way through.
That's how I'm so rich.
You know what Miles Edgeworth will tell the court tomorrow? We were right. So Von Karma is going to bring up DL6 in court tomorrow. Okay, but here's the thing. Just pushes him over onto the ground. Run, Maya!
Oh no, it's like... Yeah, here's the evidence. Tosses into the air, lands down the hallway, runs, grabs it on the floor. Luke,
Oh, yeah,
that was in the episode I showed you. Like,
episode.
okay, so
Yeah. It was
last
Generations,
episode,
not Origins.
it was Pokemon Generations, not Origins. Last episode, I was talking about
totally
Pokemon. I was talking about a show. It was Pokemon Generations, and I wanted to show him the specific episode, so we went and saw it. And the character who, like, they find the secret information, they get it on a USB, and then the security team's there, and it's like, we're gonna have to ask you to hand that over. And they're like, yeah, and then they just yeet it down the hallway, and then just sprint down the hallway, grab it, and run.
What was the point of throwing it down the hallway?
I think it's to give enough of a distraction, because you throw the item, and then they're focused on the item, and you have just enough time to make a run for it, and then they realize you're making a run for it.
See, what I would have done was I would have had a fake flash drive on me.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
just like reached in and been like, here's the totally actual flash drive. We gotta show him something. Oh, let's show him the letter. Mr. Von Karma, have a look at this. This was you, wasn't it? You instructed Yanni Yogi, or Laurel Logie, whatever the fuck his name is,
Laurel Logie,
to commit murder. Yanni Yogi. How many years has it been since I've heard him called by that name?
I mean, what's his like local nickname? Do they just call him Old Man, or the
guy, I think?
the
caretaker? The caretaker.
Like, man, how does he not already have like a local legend about him, where it's like, oh yeah, they say the old man who works at the boat store doesn't actually have a name.
Yeah, right. He's a fool.
That would be a local legend.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a name, and he sometimes says that his place is a pasta shop, and his parrot remembers all his stuff for him, so you gotta not like ask his parrot like specific personal stuff, because the parrot remembers.
Yeah. Spooky stuff. That sounds like the beginning to some kind of spooky movie.
Yeah, or like one of those twists where it's the start of a spooky movie, but it's a normal guy, and the spooky thing is somewhere else.
Right.
Oh, your line.
Yeah. I told him to burn it after he read it.
Keep, sell, burn. It was funny, if you look at Steven Universe Future, in one of the episodes, he has a box. He has a box in his room, a cardboard box that says keep. Because that's the box he kept, so it just still says keep on it.
Oh, nice.
So you admit it.
Oh, excuse me.
You wrote Mr. Yogi this letter.
Yes, my dear defense attorney. Thank you for taking the trouble to bring it to me. You've saved me from a lot of needless hassle. What?
Nick, what is that thing?
Taser? It's a stun gun. A stun gun! For self-defense, usually. Indeed. 600,000 volts will course through your body like a dog touching an electric fence.
I touched an electric fence once.
And?
It's at my hand. It wasn't like a high... It wasn't that a really powerful one. It was one... It was the kind that keeps cows from leaning on the fence.
Did you piss on it?
No, I did not pee on it. Plus,
what happened?
No one has a pee stream that's consistent enough for that to work. That's a thing. They tested it with the Mythbusters. That like even if you have like a really high voltage like rail thing, the thing is like your pee stream isn't like a garden hose or whatever. Like even if you do use a garden hose from like a peeing height or whatever, it's consistent. But by the time it gets to the ground, it's drops. You know, there's too many gaps, so it can't be conducted up the water.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Once you had a solid stream, though, that's when you'd be worried.
Yeah. 600,000?
I've been staring at this taser for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Oh, fuck. Hang on. I'm just just gonna wait for it to pop up on the Twitch feed.
If I was Maya, I'd just start walking to the rest of the police. I just start walking into what?
Hang on. Oh, don't worry. People don't die from it usually. Sorry, I skipped over the line before I could finish reading it. So I looked at the Twitch feed since it like lags behind.
Yeah.
So that I could see the line again and read it. And then I realized, wow, this is super laggy. It takes like forever to get to where I just was.
I was just thinking, if I was Maya, I'd go into the police station. I'd be like, "What Carver's trying to chase Phoenix," and then also I'd actually encourage Phoenix to be like, "Nah," because like you can threaten me with a taser, but the thing is, like, it'll be a really long day for you to explain why you tase me in the middle of a police station.
No, give me the letter. No.
No.
What are you?
Nick, run! Oh, I got zapped.
Oh no! Oh, Maya!
I'm not that kind of martial arts monk.
You gotta do the scream.
Ah!
That'll work. Maya! Out of my way! Wow!
Waluigi.
Waluigi the best! Wow! Ugh, he got us. The letter's gone, of course. And he took the DL6 evidence. All of it. Back to having no clues. Wait, Maya jumped first. Maya, is she okay? Maya! Maya, open your eyes! Maya!
My elbows are all tingly. I mean, if I got zapped in the arm, the time I touched an electric fence, it was my hand, and it zapped all the way like up my nerve.
Oh,
so I could feel it in my elbow.
That happened to you?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
Wait, that actually happened to you, like in real life?
Yes, that actually happened to me. It was the kind of thing that was supposed to keep like cows from wandering into the road.
Right.
So it was just basically like it's just like a nylon rope that has a wire that's woven into it as part of its like weave. And so I was like, "What's that ticking noise?" Because it was like tick, 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 like that. Right. And it's because that's how the current goes. It's not a constant current. It's just a tick tick. That way, if a cow goes up to the fence, it's like, "Ha! I will defeat this fence with the power of my giant fat body." That when they try just leaning on the fence to push it down, it'll zap them and be like, "Oh no, that was a dumb idea."
And you went up and touched it?
I guess I didn't know because it was woven with a wire. It from my distance, it just looked like a rope.
Oh, I thought you were just doing like one of those bum review things.
Nah, because like if it was like a Jurassic Park looking thing or like a fence that's got a sign on it, or whatever. That'd be obvious, but because it was a rope, I was like, "Oh, ropes aren't conductive." Turns out, ropes with wires in them are conductive because they got the wire on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I got zapped and zapped up my arm, and it was very tingly.
Huh.
Would not recommend it.
I was in the Naked Blue Man group once, but they said it wasn't Jewish enough.
I tried to join the Naked Blue Man group once. They said it wasn't Jewish enough.
They said it wasn't Jewish enough.
The letter. Did he take it?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Are you okay?
Luckily. And then it's like she takes out and it's just like, I got a photocopy of the letter. Oh, that would be legit. I couldn't stop him. Jumps as fast as he could. It jumps as fast as I could, but one shot from that thing knocked me out cold.
So weak. Need
stakes. The stakes are high.
Just reaches into her robe. Sustenance.
I like how Maya has sort of slowly evolved into Pox from Neoscum, where she just has a cloak with like 500 pockets.
And also 500 stomachs.
I'm useless. I couldn't take on that ancient old man. I can't even call my sister. Not even now. We need her the most. I thought she was gonna wake up and be like, haha, that zap woke up my ghost brain.
Alright. I have powers now.
Wish I hadn't woken up at all.
Oh, don't say that. Well, hey, at least the powers aren't like the latest Hellboy movie where, like, the ghost comes out of their mouth. Have you seen that?
No, but I'm just imagining that. It's like, hold on, let me channel a ghost.
That's exactly what it is.
I just extrude a ghost.
Yeah, they're just like, and the ghost pops out.
Wow.
So weird.
That is weird.
I wonder if it's like that in the comic. I haven't read the Hellboy comic. It's on my list. Maya! Grr, there has to be some way I can help her. I better do something about their self-confidence.
She gets the insulated fruit from the insulated suit from Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Maya, she's holding something. What is that? A bullet? Deal 6 incident evidence number 7 taken from the heart of Gregory Edgeworth. I remember. Von Karma was holding this when Maya jumped him. Deal 6 what stashed in her pocket. I'll prove it to you, Maya. You're most definitely not useless.
He's at me, but I did manage to pickpocket him.
Yeah. I'll prove it to you in court tomorrow. Oh, to be continued. And with that, I think we can call it here. You want to call it here? I mean,
yeah.
It's a little early, but it just feels like
it's a little.
point.
But yeah.
I'm gonna go play some more Watch Dogs.
Yeah. No, we're gonna watch. Watch a video and hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
thank you so much for joining us this evening. I've been Taylor.
I've been Lou Jack.
And that's Lou Jack with a C. So everyone, remember to take care.
Stay awesome.
Have a beautiful day.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.